Wait, what happened, Solana? I told you to make a 4-hour montage. I didn't prepare anything for today's show. I wanted 4 hours of Duncan Robinson.
Gracious.
That conversation happened here. We're at FLA Live Arena, and you got Panthers and VGK tonight. That conversation happened here where I was railing about Duncan Robinson only getting junk minutes, and Duncan Robinson balled last night, did exactly what you needed him to do. Here's the funny thing. So my anniversary at this radio station doing afternoon drive at 560 WQAM is April 1st every year. This coming April 1st will be 10 complete years of afternoon drive. Yeah, Tree's looking at me. It's why for me too, because I didn't think I was going to last 10 years. It'll begin my 11th year.
Wow.
In afternoon drive on April 1st. That will be 10 complete years. I cannot think of a time that I was right the way that I was with Duncan Robinson. I'm telling you, over 10 years, I have thrown so many things against the wall. So many things against the wall. This one happened to be right. I'm going to celebrate it. I can't think of another example where I was right, and I will go to my grave knowing that I got one right before the 10-year mark actually hit. So there you go.
Wish I could slow clap for you. I'm so proud of you right now.
I mean, I took a swing on this one. I took a swing.
And he came through for you.
Now, he could easily go 1 of 6 on the next game, but whatever. I got the Duncan game that I was calling for. It happened in a timely manner. And to be quite honest, it's exactly the argument that I was making, which was just get the guy out there.
Yeah.
Let him get some run. And once he starts feeling it, like he even had at the end of the game, Solana, there was a little, he penetrated, gave it to Bam in the paint, and Bam missed a little layup. Like he was, and I didn't even think he got exploited too bad on defense, to be quite honest. I thought that was what he played, Solana, like 15, 16 minutes?
17 minutes.
17 minutes?
14 points.
I mean, that was, did you see what someone tweeted us?
It was encouraging, and he did exactly what you said he was going to do. Come in, hit some shots. That's what he's there for. Let him do that. As soon as he walks in, he gets the kick out. That's what. And if he hits him, I'm with you, Hawk. If he hits him, I'm with you. They'd have lost by 12 if he didn't play.
Duncan Robinson's offensive rating in the last 4 games where he's played 15 or more minutes, 126.3, 155, 93.2, and 154.8. I mean, come on.
Spo's holding him back.
Well, I mean, he does get stubborn.
You got to say something now.
I actually thought that he wasn't going to put him back in the second half. I started to get nervous after that first half that he wasn't going to put him back in. But he got, like, for me, that's exactly what Duncan should get. Not 6 minutes of junk time at the end of the game. 17 minutes where I think he ended up +5 maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I like he gave you exactly what you needed. And like you said, if he wasn't out there last night, Victor Oladipo had a game last night. Caleb Martin had a game last night. Like that was a nice little victory by the Heaters. So I want to play that montage, not at the top of every hour, the start of every segment. I want to hear that montage 12 times today. Actually, I take that back. Start and end of every segment. I want to hear that 24 times today.
He came out hot, and they kept him in the game. Even that, 17 minutes is a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's not even half the game.
Did exactly what he needed to do.
But he has to come out hot. I think that's what he needs to do to get Spo to be like, hey, this is what – to build up into that 25 minutes or whatever, get your 15 to 20. Score 14 to 20 points. Okay, now we can get you in there. But if he's not shooting well, I think that's the problem.
And my point was let's get him out there so he can start shooting well again.
Yeah.
You know, it would be understandable if he goes out there, he plays 6 minutes. But so what in the last 2 games, what is he, 4 of 5 from 3?
Yeah,
because he was 3 of 4. Yeah,
and he was 1 of 1 the last time he stepped on the court.
There was a time where he was shooting 1,000% from 3 in 2 consecutive games. I mean, not a bad stat.
Now, those 2 you brought up, that's the funny part. That's what I was going to say. If Victor Oladipo can do that off the bench and Duncan's hitting, now we're getting back to what we thought this roster was going to be.
Exactly why the roster was constructed this way. if that's what happens last night. Now, for whatever reason, they have Atlanta's number. And we talked with John Michaels yesterday, and it was a little bit of an eye-opening conversation about the Atlanta Hawks, about, hey, they had one magical run, and they've been doo-doo since then. And they looked at last night, actually the two games.
Yeah. And their offenses, the first, was that Saturday?
Saturday.
I missed that one. I watched this one last night. Sometimes their offense is Trey's just dribbling and everybody standing there staring at him. There's nothing going on. I see why the coach got fired.
Yeah, there's it's a little herky-jerky.
Yes. Trey, dribble till there's 5 seconds left and kick it out to some no.
I tell you though, when he is like his little floaters, I mean, when he can make you mad because he's such a little guy, and then all of a sudden it's just like bloop.
Yeah.
Another one.
He's like what's that? And one. The little dudes that, you underestimate and they can get buckets, but I don't know if Trae Young is built to run a team. I think he's maybe a 3.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. The conversation yesterday with John Michaels from Atlanta was interesting to me. It was eye-opening.
And to watch that game after having that conversation.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at it from that perspective. Yep. Oh, yeah, I don't know, Trae.
So today we're at FLA Live Arena. You got Panthers and Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Doug Plagens, our friend, will stop by here and we'll chat with him. And Rondé Gadsden always joins us on Tuesdays. We'll chat with him, and who knows what else the afternoon will bring. So let's begin with headlines. And Alejandro Solana, who looks like he's wearing a Panthers jersey or a Heat jersey?
It's a hockey sweater.
But is it the Heat one? Yeah. I've seen you wear that before. What country is that?
Abbotsford Heat. I believe it's British Columbia. It's a now defunct AHL team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, though. It's a good
classic.
Yeah, you get the little mix-up. You get the hockey sweater, but it also says Heat on it. Kind of cool.
You look weird with your little bitty neck and head coming out that big jersey.
I look weird.
You gotta get your neck game up.
Bro, nobody should be talking about neck game. We can't even see yours with whatever the hell is hanging down from your chin. I don't know what's going on there.
It's called a beard.
You'll
grow up one day.
How did your plasma replacement go yesterday?
Not plasma replacement. It's a PRP injection. Extremely painful, but I handled it like a champ because I'm a warrior. And, really, I shouldn't even be at work today, but I am pushing through for you guys.
Is that so?
Yeah.
He's a
big-ass needle they use.
He's interesting. Because Victor Bermudez, our old executive producer, gave Solana his flowers today on Twitter out of nowhere. Literally said, no one at that radio station deserves their flowers more than Alejandro Solana.
He's right.
He was on this morning. It was Alex Dono filling in for Joe Rose. It was Dono and Brian Monroe. And Solana came on as the basketball expert. He's the pregame, postgame host. And I pointed out to Vic because, Solana does deserve his flowers. But I did point out, Solana worked Saturday night for the Heat, no problem. Sunday night, he seems to be on CBS 4 all the time with Mike Cugno, no problem there. Last night, he's on the Heat broadcast, no problem there. This morning, he's on the morning show, no problem there. Guess what he did miss? The show. That's when he made his appointment. Like, does no one find that a little bit odd? The actual show that pays him, the actual show that put him on the map, he makes the doctor's appointment. That's the most, negotiable part of his day.
2 to 6.
Whether he shows up 2 to 6. So, Dono and Brian Monroe, no problem. I'll be on the air with you.
No problem.
Tommy Tiggs, Saturday night, Monday night, I got you. Cugno, you need me to drive to, where is CBS 4? Down in Doral?
Doral.
Need me to drive to Doral? I got you, no problem. Oh, yeah, my show 2 to 6. Made a doctor's appointment 2:30. Huh. Well, that was interesting. Interesting.
Maybe the PRP place is only open from 2 to 6.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
I've had it before. Mine was open at 9.
Because I guarantee you, if the PRP place said to him, the appointment has to be at 7:30 p.m., he would have said, well, no, I have work, right? Because of the Heat game. It would have been important. They said, the only time we have is 2:30. Bingo. Got it. Perfect. Perfect. I was hoping for more like 3, but 2:30's fine.
Damn, Savannah.
Yeah, so it was a big needle.
Man, that needle was huge. By the way, exactly how the conversation went with the scheduler. Couldn't do
I know.
5. Couldn't do
I
5:30. I mean,
I know.
you know, Tommy Tig and Jay Jacks, they're relying on me. I mean, but
I
2:30,
know.
I'll be there.
Very aware.
Gave the doctor my own radio show, baby.
Very aware.
And you don't have any time down after PRP. Your miscalculation with this is that I've done everything you're doing, so your lies are going to go to deaf ears.
Yeah, it didn't work with Leroy either when I told him I shouldn't be walking. These headlines are driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. Nice Heat win yesterday, as we just mentioned. So Jimmy balled as well, but you guys mentioned off the bench, Duncan definitely deserves praise yesterday because you know what? The Heat gave up 43 points in the first quarter, and he comes in at the end, hits a 3, and then in the second, the Heat start chipping away at that lead, or at that deficit, I should say, and he was a big part of it. Like, he played really solid minutes for the Miami Heat yesterday. Depot was crazy, but man, Caleb Martin, since getting replaced in the starting lineup yesterday, 21 points for him, extremely efficient, and he's been excellent despite getting replaced by Kevin Love, who really hasn't been great. Not that he's been poor, but the net rating for the starters since Kevin Love replaced Caleb hasn't been great, and Caleb's just been dominating with the second unit.
Yeah, no, it was fun to watch Saturday, and then last night, like, you feel okay. Like, they're not going to make the top 4 seeds, and I was watching post game Jax and Ron Rothstein, you know, and they were looking at it, but he's like, hey, let's catch Brooklyn, you know, let's catch Brooklyn. I think they're 2 games ahead of them right now.
Now 2 games ahead.
And then Rothstein was saying, hey, the Knicks have to come down to earth at some point. Like, they can't just keep winning games. So, you know, they can maybe make a little move here towards the end of the season and end up in a better spot than a play-in game, because you watched last night, like, Atlanta's a play-in team. That's and I think the Heat are much better than them, and you saw it three games this season, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hawks, to me, like, that's the definition of a play-in team. You have a superstar, he can put up a great night, but for the most part, you've got pieces that are kind of not. But when the Heat are in sync, and the problem is they looked like Atlanta for a few games.
Yes.
But man, when they're in sync and things are working, they're a team that can give problems.
The guys doing their roles.
Oh my goodness.
Boy.
That is rough.
I saw y'all. I caught eyes with you.
Oh my goodness. Caught eyes.
And
I mean, you almost drowned.
Whoa.
You all right?
My goodness, I almost died.
I didn't even
Hey, yo,
need no
Ace.
pasta today.
Light skin wonder.
Trees of green,
Hey, John, we always.
red roses too.
And, whoa.
I see them blue
And with Wade leaving, excuse me,
for me and you.
they can't go back.
And I think
No
to
real
myself,
series of, excuse me, they can't go back. I have this,
what a wonderful world.
and some of those, whoa,
Has to be the 2 Barrett.
I think that's what it is.
It's the 2 Barrett.
All right. That was
I'm going to say before I drowned. You bring up Caleb Martin getting back to where he was comfortable. Now Duncan back in the role, doing what he does. Their roles on this team, is it too late to figure it out now?
Well, you know, obviously the Tyler Hero argument coming off the bench versus starting, I mean, that's kind of the domino, right? The lead domino. I don't know if you change it this late in the season. The Kevin Love one is going to be interesting, though. It might happen working out to be the opposite of what we said. You remember what we said when they first signed him? He won't start at the beginning. Come playoff time, though, Kevin Love's going to be in the starting lineup. I think it may work out the opposite. I think it may start with him coming in as a starter, and Caleb Martin might be starting come playoff time. I think it may work the exact opposite with Kevin Love.
Yeah, that old guy experience versus just old, because that was his thing. Like, he's looking old. I don't know if you're going to bust the bubble.
He's been fine, but he's certainly, like, if you thought, I mean, he had Kevin Love Day. He was not worthy of that in any of, what has he played now? 4 games, 5 games?
Yeah, 4 games or 5 games,
Yeah.
You're not attaching your old wagon to that, are you?
I'm all on Duncan.
Duncan played.
I think
Play DR.
quickly, I think he'll end up starting, but you remember, like, Amari Stoudemire was a starter for the Heat in 2016,
Right.
played the first 7 minutes, maybe started the second half for 3-4 minutes, and then you never saw him again in the playoffs. That's what you may be headed towards with Kevin Love, where he'll play 15 minutes, 18 minutes, maybe if he's knocking down some shots, but Caleb is going to play the majority of those minutes next to Bam.
Yep.
So the Heat play the Cavs 2 times in a row. These are big games at home for the remainder of this 6-game homestand, Wednesday, Friday versus Cleveland, who yesterday was down big at home versus Boston. Grant Williams has a chance to win it, tied 109-109. He tells somebody on the Cavs, I'm going to make both of these with 0.8 of a second left on the clock.
He's standing at the line because
Yeah.
someone from the Cavs kind of, get like big shots here or whatever. And you see him mouth, I'm going to make both of these.
Missed them both, and they end up
Missed 'em.
losing in overtime.
I still love it. But
Right. But if you say I'm going to make both of these, at least make one. Like, preferably the first one. Because now it's in your own head after you miss the first one.
Or do the thing where if you're going to say something that cocky, put your mouth over your jersey.
Right.
So nobody has that clip of
Right.
you saying, I got
Right.
both of these.
Right. Yeah,
0 for
you're not
2.
exactly Michael Jordan.
And I wonder, when those guys do that, what the hell is that important?
Well,
you
we
talking about?
wouldn't be talking about this if he had done that.
Those NBA players are super secret.